please.
Okay.
So this lesson I'm going to give you, bring your attention up here, please, ladies. This lesson I'm going to give you is about how to do discussion forums much better than what you have done. Now, the whole point of a discussion forum is to get you talking about things. In classrooms, we've had discussion. We've had some discussions about the global recently with, well, I guess the most recent one we had was just about the penny. I'm going to go back to the weather one we did in earlier part of the month and just go over some of the things that were on that discussion forum and just make a couple comments about it. Yeah, we had 74 people respond to this. And as you remember, we have different levels of this. Just to remind you, Re1, response, the first response. Re2 would be when you responded to somebody else's response. So let's look here at the question posed to you was, the weather seems different from other years. How is it different? And why? So when we look at the first entry here, it just happens to be Taylor's, but it says the sun, question mark. So there is a response to the question, but we don't have, how is it different? Okay, so we haven't really answered the question there, but let's just continue on. Now, here Logan has done a Re2, and that's to Talon. So Logan has responded to Talon, and he says the earth spins around the sun. Now in a discussion, we want someone speaking, then someone responding, and someone responding. We want people to respond to each other and to come up with greater ideas, and it pushes you to get better and better ideas. Does this response, the earth spins around the sun, does that encourage Talon to think more?
Yes.
And is there something there that makes him want to speak back to Logan? Is there something there? Okay, not really. There really isn't anything there. But in a real good discussion, that's what we want to take place. Let's slide down here a little bit more. Here's a Re1. It says, I think it is because of global warming. Not a bad Re1. Let's see a Re2 to that. Well, sort of, but last year it was cold, but true. Do we have a good response?
No.
Does the response make sense? Does it encourage discussion? Does it encourage Victor to respond back to her? Well, he did. He did respond back, but did it encourage a good response back? Or did he get a good response back? No. So today's lesson is just about what you can do to encourage people to respond back to you in good ways. One of the very easiest things for you to do is, where am I? Oh, yes. Is to recognize people for who they are. So what Sydney ideally would have done would have said, Victor, call him by name. As soon as you call him by name, you are now opening a dialogue. If I just said, well, he didn't say it very well, but I said, Victor didn't say it very well, then now I have Victor's attention. It's just not a big general thing. So when you say somebody's name, they pay attention. If you yell out Mr. Bloom, I pay attention. Doesn't seem like it sometimes. Okay, so say somebody's name in there. When you respond back, say somebody's name. Another thing that's really good to do, the very first thing, is you want to encourage people to think. Then value their ideas. Compliment them. Say something like, that's a good idea, Sydney. But what do you think of this? And then you offer another idea. Or you build on their idea. And then you encourage discussion because you ask them a question. What do you think about this? And that encourages them to respond. So now we've called them by name. We've given them a compliment. They feel good about themselves. And we've made them think some more. And we've encouraged them to discuss. And you've done that simply by doing two things: calling them by name and complimenting them. So on the next topic, what I'm looking for all of you to do is when you do your re-to, you're going to call a person by name. And you're going to compliment them. Those two things are what I'm looking for from every one of you. I'm also expecting that you're going to have something wise to say, something valuable to say. But really, those two things. Okay. The question that you're going to go into the lab and respond to right now I'm getting there is the question about the penny. The penny is about to be phased out, getting rid of. Do you think we should keep the penny or get rid of it? Why? Why? Why do you think that? Okay, so that's your re-1. You'll respond to that. Then you're going to go in and you're going to make at least 2 re-to responses. Anybody have any questions about what we're supposed to be doing?